Workers at CNN are reportedly freaking out over what they perceive as nothing less than what they're calling a purge of woke staff. That's right, we're going to take a look at a number of reports that are noticing precisely that there is indeed a kind of woke purge going on at the king of fake news. And make sure to stick with the very end of this video when I'll reveal what the future of CNN really is in all of this. You're not going to want to miss it. Greetings, everyone. It's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot professor. Having to think better so you can feel better in this crazy and turbulent world. So if you haven't done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we begin, we're just days away from the online premiere of my brand new movie, The Return of the American Patriot, The Rise of Pennsylvania, which is now available for pre-sale at a discounted price by clicking on that link below. And the best part, when you purchase the movie, you have the opportunity to join me and thousands of other patriots in my brand new community on Locals. We're together. We're standing up against woke culture in a censor-free environment. And there we've got special bonus content from myself, from my team, even from Senator Doug Mastriano, the next governor of Pennsylvania, and plenty of other guests. The movie will be released on September 15th, but pre-purchase it now to get exclusive discounts, bonus content, and best of all, stand up against the woke mob as a courageous patriot. Make sure to click on that link below or go to the Return of the American Patriot.com. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Something's going on at CNN, and it's got the woke leftists over there absolutely freaking out. A number of news outlets are reporting that CNN employees are very concerned that they're witnessing nothing less than a purge. That's the word they're using. A purge of woke staff from the cable news outlet. As I'm sure many of you know, the latest to be shown the exit was the ultra-leftist correspondent John Harwood. It was a very abrupt exit, no warning given, and in light of the colossal fall of Brian Stelter, Mr. Potato Head, who was fired a few weeks back, people started to notice a trend here. Harwood he's got a long track record of attacking Republicans and shilling for everything liberal and left wing. Harwood was actually caught asking Clinton confidant John Podesta for advice on what to ask the then GOP candidate Jeb Bush in an interview back in 2016. More recently, he actually made the outlandish claim that there was, quote, zero evidence that Joe Biden had any connection with Hunter's alleged corruption. I gotta say alleged, right? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So Harwood is gone, and then, of course, Mr. Potato Head is gone. He was probably the single most pretentious, obnoxious, totally self-unaware liberal on television. He was just utterly cringeworthy and repulsive. And then Jeffrey Toobin, speaking of repulsive, he relieved himself of his position. Again, one of the most ridiculously left-wing legal analysts on the planet. Remember, this is a guy who had the gall to say that it was a good thing for Kyle Rittenhouse that he wasn't on trial for stupidity. Otherwise, he'd be convicted. I mean, this guy, this naked Zoomer actually said that, for heaven's sakes. Again, the lack of self-awareness is a key characteristic of these liberal narcissists. So that noted, it's being widely reported that CNN staff are beginning to panic. They're freaking out that there's nothing less than a very real woke purge happening. One CNN journalist told the Washington Post, people are freaking out. It almost feels like there's a pattern. Is there a purge going on? They seem to be sending a message. Watch what you say. Watch what you do. That's right. That's right. It would be a horrible thing for cancel culture to start taking out victims on the left. No, no, no. You can't. Well, or as Biden would say, no, 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 right? Cancel culture is not supposed to work that way. It's only supposed to work one way, right? It's supposed to be directed towards the right. How can you be purging CNN, of all places, of woke staff and top anchors? Who'll be left after you get rid of all of those woke people? Now, if you don't know, this network shakeup is happening in the shadow of some pretty revealing comments made by John Malone, who's a very influential board member for Discovery. Discovery acquired CNN via their merger with Warner Brothers, and Malone's now an equally influential board member on the new company, the merged company, and he appeared on CNBC back in November saying that he wanted CNN to go back to its golden era of nonpartisan journalism and the news coverage back in the 90s, particularly during the first Gulf War. So these were the days of Crossfire, right? They had Pat Buchanan on to debate with leftists. And they had real debate. It was relatively nonpartisan. They had Rush Limbaugh on often. Larry King was on there. It was the golden age of CNN. And interestingly, right after the merger between Discovery and Warner Brothers, one of the first things they did is they canceled CNN Plus. Do you remember that? Their streaming service, which had been hyped up for months and tens of millions of dollars in advertising. The streaming service rolled out for just a few weeks. It was a disaster. They had barely 10,000 people sign up for it. And the new bosses shut it down, leaving Chris Wallace without a job. Or as Tucker would say, And so CNN's new president, Chris Licht, the one who replaced the rabidly anti-Trumper Jeff Zucker, he appears to be cleaning house. And he's noticeably firing, or shall we say, prematurely canceling the contracts of a number of the notably more woke liberal top talent. And the far left is freaking out over this. And I'm going to show you precisely how. But before I forget, my friend Michael Lush, along with his amazing staff over at Replace Your University, are showing patriots like you how you can build your own personal parallel economy so you can do more of what you love, like fighting for freedom without worrying about your financial future. Michael will even show you how you could pay off your mortgage in 5 to 7 years. You heard that right. He's amazing. Just click on that link below to book a free consultation. Call today. All right. The far left site slate.com actually had a pretty good article, if you could stomach their radical perspectivism and the utter naivete of the author. But his observation at the end was actually pretty good. First and foremost, he was obviously horrified at the prospect of CNN leaving the woke reservation. For this author, the woke reservation is truth. It's righteousness. It's standing up against Trump and fascism and all that nonsense. So he's very freaked out over that. He feels like CNN leaving the woke reservation is a huge loss for that reservation. But that said, he made a very good observation. He noted that he thinks it's naive to believe that CNN can go back to so-called objective journalism, right? The journalism that accompanied their rather stellar reputation back in the early 90s. And his argument is that Trump and the ultra-MAGA movement have destroyed forever that reputation, particularly by their relentless assault on CNN's journalistic integrity and their nonstop lambasting CNN's fake news. Obviously, I would take huge issue with that assessment, right? I don't think Trump and the MAGA movement is responsible for soiling CNN's reputation. I think CNN took care of that quite effectively themselves, all right? But I think this Slate.com article is right. I think CNN's new leadership is a bit naive here. I don't think their original reputation as a reputable news organization is coming back anytime soon unless they become more like Fox or Newsmax. They're going to have to embrace the new populist movement that's storming our nation and growing all over the world. So while I'm certainly delighted in seeing this woke purge throughout CNN, nevertheless, as long as their pundits continue to treat populism, and particularly the ultra-MAGA movement, as made up of nothing more than deluded extremists, CNN will always be a cosmopolitan, liberal, globalist mouthpiece, destined for total and complete failure. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and you'll definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on what's really behind the Democrats' strategy at demonizing half the voting population. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.